Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Wednesday. Today we're going to just go over the Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin. We'll look at Bitcoin, but we're going to go over a miner versus miner comparison, see how they stack up to each other. And we'll take a look at the miners, how they did perform today on the market. And then we'll get into the miner versus miner, but there isn't much news out there. So we'll just do a deep dive on the miners, see where they really should be and if they're undervalued or overvalued. So, as always, non-financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research, please. Don't fall for scams. Spam posts get reported and deleted. I'm invested in the following companies and coins for full disclosure. So let's get into the miners here really quick. So Argo is up today 2.5% to 1.02. It is now above the 20-day moving average, which is good to see. The MACD is still looking pretty good. We're still in the green here, so we'll see if that can continue on. But otherwise, it's looking okay. Let's take a look at Bitfarms. Bitfarms was up 0.9, so a little bit less than 1% to $4.14. It is above the 20-day moving average as well. MACD is looking still pretty good on the green. Looks like it's coming down a little bit, but we'll see if we can reverse that trend as well. And we'll take a look at Bitcoin, see if that can help it as well. Cleanspark was up 5%, so another nice gain on Cleanspark. It has had a nice rally here in the last basically week and a half after providing their earnings report last week. So Cleanspark has been doing really well. It is up another 4.2% in the after hours to 11.17. So looking good on that one. The MACD is looking pretty good as well. The RSI isn't in the overbought territory yet, so that's pretty good as well. And we're looking at this on the daily chart here on Cleanspark. And then we got Core Scientific. Core Scientific was actually down 9.39% to 9.55. It is down another 2% in after hours. So it is now below the 50-day moving average, and it will be battling with the 20-day moving average here shortly. So we'll see how that one plays out. MACD is looking like it's going down as well, and so is the RSI. So we'll see how this also plays out. It's all based on Bitcoin price, so we'll see what Bitcoin does, which will obviously indicate what these guys do for the most part as well. So Digihost was down 4% today to 383. It is now slightly above the 20-day moving average, which is good. MACD is looking down, but it's still in the green, so that's always promising as well. And then we got DMG. DMG was down 0.31% to 51 cents, and it is still above the 20-day moving average, which is also a good sign. So MACD is looking in the green, so no concerns there right now. Hive was down 2.71% today. It is between the 20 and the 50-day moving averages. It is up 1.4% today to $2.18. The MACD is pretty flat right now. Not much action going on there, and we do have an RSI that's pretty in the middle territory, so no concerns there as well. HUT 8 was down 2.71% today to 718. It is down another 0.56% in the after hours to $7.14. MACD is flat. RSI is in the middle of 52 right now, so nothing of real concern there. It is battling with the 20 or 50-day moving average right now, trying to stay close to that and possibly above it, but right now we'll see how that plays out. And then we got Iris Energy. Iris Energy was up 1.79% to 1478. Today, MACD is flat on it. RSI is at 55 in the middle range, so no real concern there. It is above the 50-day moving average right now, and it has been trading sideways here. It looks like for the last couple, about 7 to 8 days or so, it's been trading kind of sideways action going on. So we'll look at all that. And then Marathon was down today 0.8% to $28.40. It's down another 1.41% in the after hours to $28. And it is between the 50-day moving average and the 20-day moving average as well. And it has been trading a little bit sideways as well. MACD is pretty much flat right now. We're not seeing any huge signs pointing in one direction or the other. And the RSI is in the middle right now, so we're okay with that as well. Mawson was down 5.54% today to $4.26. It is up actually 1.64% in the after hours to $4.33. It is now below the below the 20-day moving average on the chart. MACD is looking like it's going down, so we'll see if we get a little red bar in the next day or two if that happens. As we're also seeing a reversal here on the Scholastic, I think it's called the Scholastic, the histogram. So we'll see how this plays out. And then finally we got Riot. Riot was down 0.71% to 1959. It is down another 0.46% down to 1950 in the after hours right now, and it is hovering below the 50-day moving average. Came close to it a couple days back, but it wasn't able to go above it. And RSI is at 52, so it's in the middle area, which is fine. And the MACD is pretty much in the green right now, so we do have some potential for going up, possibly, it looks like. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin is at 43,932 right now. It is up just a little bit. Obviously, we just had the changeover in the UTC time. So we have a new day on the chart. It is still above the 50-day and the 20-day moving averages here. The green is the 50, the red is the 20-day moving averages. So we'll see how this plays out on it. And we're looking at the 1-hour chart on it right now. We did come close to it on the chart here on yesterday to hitting our resistance here at 44,768. Excuse me, and we'll see if we can go back and test that again. We need to really get above the 45,000 mark, I think, in order to keep this momentum going right now. But for the most part, the RSI is looking pretty good on the 1-hour chart. We're at 51. Last time we were here, you can go back here. So about the same price. And then if we go back a little bit further, we were here a lot higher. So price appreciation has gone up while the RSI has stayed flat from those 2 time periods, which is a good sign, which gives us hope that we are in a upward trend. So we'll have to see how this plays out, but right now we're looking good. If we look at the daily chart on it, we can see that the 50-day, the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average are looking to cross again. Well, if that happens, that might be a nice little bullish trend that we may have continuing on here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, see how that plays out. And then we have obviously the 200-day moving average. So we would really like to get above that and make sure that that stays relatively high going forward. All right, so there's that. Let's take a look at Ethereum really quick. Ethereum has some of the miners mine Ethereum as well. Here's Ethereum. It is at 3,143 right now, and it is slightly, looks like above the 20-day or the 50-day moving average right now. It did bounce obviously off of the 50-day moving average here, which is a good sign. And we'll see if we can get above the 100-day moving average, I believe that is, or 200-day. I think that's the 200-day moving average on it to get above it, and then we'll be in good shape on that. So we'll see how this plays out. Right now we have a nice little U recovery. We'll see how everything shapes going forward. Still a lot of FUD in the market, so we'll see what happens. But right now nothing is tragically bad or pointing to bad signs or anything like that, so we're good there. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin hash rate here. So I found another chart that's more up to date than the one I was using. The other one was about a day and a half behind. And this one provides us with pretty much on-time hash rate. So we're at 197 million exahash right now. We're at 197.65 exahash power, which is a lot of hash. You can see here the hash is in there. And we did reach a high here a couple of days ago on the February 12th, which was Saturday, of 263. We've come down a little bit from that and obviously came close to that again today at 258 exahash. So quite a bit of miners getting installed, being put in place and starting up and possibly testing and things like that. So we'll see how this plays out as well. Obviously, we know the hash rate is going to continue going up. If we look at the chart here on the 6 months, we can see it's just continually going up ever since we've had the miner exodus from China earlier last year, back in May and June into July. All right, so that's all I got for you guys on that. So let's take a look at the miners themselves and we'll compare them. So right now I have all the miners set up by market cap from the highest to the lowest. Core Scientific is one of the newer guys that I've been covering here. They obviously have a lot of current hash rate that they also mine for themselves and for their customers. They do hosting. So they're going to have a pretty much split hosting and self-mining for them. So we'll take a look at the numbers for them. So they are at 3.03 billion market cap with a stock price of $9.55. Marathon is at $28.40 with a market cap of $2.9 billion. Then we got Riot with a stock price of $19.59 and a $2.28 billion market cap. Hut 8 at $7.18. Stock price in $1.5 billion. Hive at $2.15 with a market cap of $1.11 billion. Bitfarms ending out the billion club here. So they are at 414 and 1.035 billion. And then you got Iris at 813 million and 1478 for the share price. And Cleanspark at 1072 with 444 million. Argo at $1.02 and 348 billion, not billion, sorry, million. And then Mawson at 426 and 293, and Digihost at 383 and 119, and then DMG at 51 cents and 110. Okay, so looking at their past 3 quarters and possibly this current quarter, which is going to change obviously because they are going to get miners installed in this month, February. We pretty much already know what they got installed in January because we got the January updates from them. So we know that February is still going to change. We know that March is still going to change. So that these numbers are still going to change based on what they could possibly make. Bitcoin price could either go up or it could go down. So that's going to affect it as well. Hash rate is going to probably continue going up. That's going to affect it as well. So this is basically at a specific time and frame when these calculations are being done. So things will change going forward. So just as a caveat there. All right. So current estimates, my estimated estimates for them are for Core Scientific 288 million. So this would be for this basically quarter, which would be Q1 in 2022, which includes the last 3 quarters for them as well. And then we got Marathon at 198 million, Riot at 224 million, Hut 8 at 142, Hive at 226, Bitfarms at 163 million, Iris at 49, Cleanspark at 106, Argo at 102, Mawson at 52, Digihost at 29, and DMG at 25. Obviously, we also have shares outstanding here a lot. So, 31 million shares outstanding compared to 216 million for DMG. That's why the price is different, even though their market cap is pretty close right now. So things to keep in mind here as well. So based on the numbers that we have here, what they're potentially going to be earning for the last 3 quarters plus this quarter, we're looking at 50% net income from gross revenue, PE 20. So I'm doing this for everybody 20. And I do know that some of the miners only get maybe a 10, a 15. Some might even get less than a 10 PE because they just don't have the future hash rate growth that some of the other guys do. The more hash rate growth you have, the higher PE. Looks like you're getting more of it than the other guys. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So I'm using 50% and 75%. I'm more on line with 75%. I think most of the miners here are mining at least above, close to 70. Some are a little bit higher than that, but on the average, they're right around 80, between 70% and 80% net income from gross revenue. It doesn't include all the expenses and things like that, just their basic run-of-the-mill expenses. So Core Scientific, I have them at 1362, which is basically, in my opinion, undervalued by $4.07 right now, which would be a 43% increase if they were to be at this price. Marathon is at 28.98, so they're only undervalued by 58 cents per share, which would only be a 2% difference. And then Riot, I have them at 28.86, so that's a $9.27 difference, which would be another 47%. So they're kind of the same boat as Core here. Then you got Hut 8, I have them at 9.96, they are at 7.18, so that's a $2.78 difference and a 39% upside. Hive, I have them at 6.53, so that's a $4.38 difference, and it's an upside of 204% basically from where they are right now, which they are undervalued in my opinion pretty badly. So is most of these guys are, but some of these guys are undervalued a little bit more, and I think that has to do with future hash rate, right? So future hash rate determines your basically price to earnings multiple a little bit. You get a little bit more of a premium on it. And then we got Bitfarms, I have them at 981. That would be $5.67 difference from where they should be, 137% difference, obviously an upside. Iris, I have them at 1338. They're currently at 1478, so they're overvalued basically by $1.40 right now, in my opinion, which would be a decrease in 9%. Cleanspark, I have them at 3857, based on what they're mining already, and they are obviously at 1072, so they are way undervalued by $27.85. And that is also because they also have not a lot of shares out, so that obviously helps the price of the stock. That would be a 260% increase. Argo, I have them at 450, so that's a $3.48 difference from where they should be, 341% upside potential possibly, if they got the respect from the investors and everybody was using the 20 price earnings multiple. So I just want to repeat that to make it known. Mawson, I have them at 1149, they're at 426 right now, so that would be a $7.23 increase or 170%. Digihost at 701. 2 caveats about Digihost and DMG. I believe Digihost is already at their peak hosting or mining hash rate. I haven't heard anything new from them as far as they're going to be growing too much this year. Same thing for DMG. DMG is getting pretty close to being at their peak, which isn't a lot either. So we'll discuss that when we look at the hash rates. So I have them at 701, which ideally they probably would be closer to like a 20 price to earnings multiple, I think. So that would give them to 350. So that would be pretty close to where they are right now, I think, as far as price is concerned. But if we're using everything equal for everybody, 20 price to earnings multiple, they're down 318 from where they should be. DMG is 178, so they're down 127. So 83% for Digihost upside potential and 250% for DMG. So that's how that shapes up. This isn't rocket science. It is subjective, obviously. If we're trying to be fair to everybody, that does determine the price a little bit differently. But if you're going by what they're actually getting price earnings multiple right now, then the numbers would be a lot different. So the miners that have large hash rate growth in the future get a premium on their price earnings multiple, where the other guys are not. They're lagging behind. Some of them are like 7.5 PE. So something to keep in mind, okay? All right, so let's take a look at the current hash rate of all of these guys. So current hash rate for Core Scientific is 14.6 exahash. This is obviously a mixture of their own mining and their hosting mining as well. So they're going to be close to being 50-50. I think they're going to be a little bit more on their own mining going forward, but they're still obviously going to be close to that. I think it might be like 55-45 split, 60-40 split, something like that. So it's going to be pretty close. So future hash rate is going to be obviously 32.5 exahash. So right now they are about 44% operationally installed from future hash rate. Number of miners is 157,850. Average hash rate per miner is about 92 terahash. 92 terahash. And Marathon is at right around 3.6 exahash right now. Future hash rate is going to be 23.3 exahash. So that means they are currently 15.4% operational from future hash rate. Number of miners currently installed is 32,710. Hash rate per miner on average is 110,000. So they're maxing those things out completely. I think they're also probably doing something to speed them up a little bit, where they're adjusting the clock speed on those miners. Riot is currently at 3.4 exahash, and they're going to be at approximately 12.8 exahash. I think that's where they want to get to. But obviously, I know for sure Riot's going to be doing immersion cooling, which will get a portion of their miners up and another maybe 20-30% and increase in hash speed. So that might get them up to maybe, I'm thinking maybe 13.5, maybe 14 exahash by the time it's all said and done. So they're currently at 26.59% installed with 32,640 miners and an average speed of 104 terahash. And then we got Hot 8 is at 2.1 roughly, and they're going to be at 3.3. I know they want to get up to around 5 by the end of the year, but we just don't know as far as they haven't announced any miners that are going to be bought. So when they announce that they're buying miners, we'll update this and we'll have a little bit better, clear picture on what's going on there. So right now they are 63.49% installed from the future hash rate with 23,965 miners. Average miner speed is about 89 terahash. And then we got Hive. Hive is at 1.8, and this is also not including their GPU mining, and I believe this doesn't include their GPU mining as well for Hot 8. So this is just ASIC mining. So this is 1.8 exahash for Hive. Future hash rate is going to be about 4 exahash, and then they want to get to 5, which I think they will get to with their GPU mining. And they are currently 47.6% installed with 22,279 miners. Average hash rate speed is 83 terahash. Bitfarms is at 2.3 exahash. They're going to get around to 6.3. I think they want to get to closer to 8 or 9, I believe they said. But we don't have the numbers as far as what miners are buying, how many to get them to that yet. So when they report, we'll update it as well. So they're 36.83% operational with 28,000 miners and 82 terahash average per miner. Iris is at 805 petahash right now. They're going to be at 15 by sometime in 2023. So a full, basically, year and a half from now, they're going to be at this. So they're currently at 5.36% installed base, which is, I think, the lowest here installed base. Yeah, they're so far the lowest installed base right now from future hash rate. And they have about 8,539 miners. Average speed on those is 94 terahash. Cleanspark has 2.1 exahash. They're going to get to 4.2. They did say they want to increase that as well. So we'll see what they report on that. But they're basically about 50% installed with 20,500 miners. Average hash rate on the miners is about 102 terahash. Argo is at 1.6. Their future hash rate reported is 3.6. 87 at least confirmed for what they're buying. So they are 43% operational with 26,000 miners and 61 terahash right now. And that seems pretty low, so we'll have to take a look at that. But I think it might be because they're using some of the older miners still, and that's hurting them right now until they get the new miners in. That will obviously help them out. Mawson is at basically 1.1 exahash. They're going to be 3 exahash reported, so they're 36.79% operational. 11,590 miners. Average hash rate is 94 per miner, terahashes, and Digihost is at 1.1 for exahash, and the future hash rate report is 1.14. If you know anything about them, where they're going to be getting more miners or increasing their hash rate, but they're basically 100% installed right now, and their average miner speed is right now 95.9 terahash. And then we got DMG with 500 petahash and future hash rate of 1.5 exahash. So they're 32% operational, and their miners are about 90 exahash here right now. So based on this information, obviously Iris has the most upside still to go based on where they are, with only having 5% of their machines installed. They want to get to obviously 15,000, so they have a long ways to go on that. Then we would probably have Marathon with 15%, Riot with 26%, and then we would have, well, DMG 32, but they're not getting that high on their rate. So those are the ones that are going to have the most growth going forward. Everybody else here is already close to being at 50% or higher than that. So those guys, obviously 2x potential from here, possibly. All right. So let's do some calculations here. So on this part here, I'm calculating the market cap per petahash. So current hash rate, basically. So we're looking at the market cap here. So we're taking the market cap, dividing it by the current hash rate to get the amount per, I guess that would be petahash. So we have Core Scientific at $207 or 207,000. Based on that information, which with future hash rate, their market cap should be about 6.7 billion, and a future share price of $21. So that would be an upside potential of 123%. And the reason for that is obviously they have almost a 50-50 split on their mining. 50% is for them, a little bit more than that. And then the rest is for their hosting as well. They obviously make a lot less on the hosting. So eventually, if they wanted to actually get their miners or buy out the miners that are hosting with them, there would be a huge potential for growth there just to increase that on their own. That would generate a heck of a lot more income for them than just the hosting would. So something to keep in mind. Marathon is basically 810,000 per petahash, and their market cap would be 18.9 billion, and that is basically because of the current operational hash rate. So we're using that, multiplying the future hash rate times this to get the future market cap potential, right? So this is the current per, I hope I'm explaining this correctly. So this is the current market cap per petahash. So we're using this number here. Once we have this number, then we're multiplying that times this number here to get our future market cap hash rate, which would give us a stock price of $184. With a 549% increase, right? So this is all, Marathon does all of their own mining, so they don't have any hosting, I don't believe. If they do, they have a little, very, very little. So then we're looking at Riot. Riot is at 672. That would give them an 8.5 billion based on what, obviously, current market cap, stock price, everything. So that would be a stock price, future stock price of $74. Upside would be 276. Hot 8 would be 720 per petahash, 1,000, and market cap would be 2.4 billion. Future share price would be around $11, 58% upside potential. Hive would be 597,000 per petahash, 2.3 billion future hash rate or future market cap, with a stock price of $5 and upside potential of 110%. Then we got Bitfarms. Bitfarms would be 443,000 right now per petahash. Future petahash market cap would be 2.8 billion. Stock price would be $11, 170% upside potential. And then we got Iris. Iris is currently at 1 million per petahash. So these guys are the ones that are getting the, I guess, the most investment per petahash right now compared to the other guys. And based on that information, if they install their 15 exahash miners, they would have about 15 billion market cap and a stock price of 176, which I think is a little too much. I think they're a little bit overvalued right now, but that would be basically a 1,767% increase in the value from where it is today. And then we got Cleanspark at 211,000 with 896 million future market cap and the stock price of 22 and 102%. And I think Cleanspark is way undervalued as well right now. You saw my numbers here before. And then we got Argo, 217,000 per petahash and 801 million market cap. So $2 per share price, 130% upside. Mawson is at 267 per petahash and about 800 million market cap, $12 per stock per share price, and 170% increase in price. And then DMG and Digi and DMG, obviously those guys aren't growing that much, so I would almost have to have their prices here a little bit, just because they're not going to be growing that much, obviously. So 0% increase for upside potential for Digi because they are pretty much, well, they're pretty much at 100% right now. And then DMG would be possibly $2, which would be 212, but I would go and bet that they would only get maybe to $1 possibly based on where they are and where they're going to be. Right, and this is also dependent on, like I keep saying, the future hash rate. The more hash rate you have going forward, the more price earnings multiple you get. So the interesting thing to look at here is these guys here, the ones that are at 207 I can understand a little bit for Core Scientific because they do both host and mine, which is almost a 50-50 split. So I keep saying that. So they're not making that much on the hosting as they are on their own mining, so that I can understand that. But Cleanspark does a lot of their own mining, so does Argo, and these guys are basically being way undervalued in my opinion right now. Though, you know, if you're under 210,000 per petahash in market value, you're being way undervalued in my opinion. All right, so that is that, and then here's my estimate. So I'm using the estimate is based on. Let me see here. So it's make sure I can throw this to you guys. So I'm taking the future share price, $21 on this, and I'm multiplying it by basically 43%, multiplying by 43% to get it higher to where I think it should be. Or it could be 2% higher, 47, 39, depending on what I have the difference here on the stock price where I think it should be and where it is right now. So that's how I'm doing that. So, and this is basically 20 PE, 75% net income from gross revenue. So they should be closer to $30, which would be a 218% increase, and a market cap of 9.6 billion, which I think is more of a fair value for Core Scientific. And then Marathon would be 188, which would be a 562% increase, which is obviously a little bit more here, but just barely, and 19.3 billion market cap. Riot, we're looking at $109 stock price, would be a 450% increase compared to 276 and a market cap of 12.6. Hut 8 would be $16 stock, 118% increase from where it is right now, 3.37 billion market cap. Hive would be $14 stock, 537% increase in price, and 7.1 billion. And then we got Bitfarms at $27, 543% increase, and 6.6 billion in market cap. And we got Iris at $250, not the 276 that was reported here, but 250, which would be a little bit less, but I think would be more of a fair value, and you'd be up 1,190% with Iris. Cleanspark would be a $78 stock, not a $22 stock, and you'd be closer to 626% being up with the market cap of 3.2. Argo, $10, 913% upside, 3.5 billion market cap, and then Mawson at 31, 633, and 2.1 billion market cap for those guys. And DMG, obviously, they still have a little ways to go. So if we look at their hash rate here combined, so they're going to be a little bit higher in hash rate than Digihost, but DMG is going to be at 1.5 right now. I would have that number. I think maybe even $3 for that, and then that would be 600% increase or so, 450%, something like that, and a market cap closer to maybe 600, 800 million. That seems fair to me based on the numbers here. But right now the miners are just down in the dumps because Bitcoin has been falling in the last couple of months, so Bitcoin goes down in price 1x. These guys go down 1.5 to 2x from where Bitcoin goes down. So, but the reverse is also the same is also the opposite of the reverse. So Bitcoin goes up 1x, these guys go up 1.5 to 2.5x. So something to be mindful as well. And then obviously the BTC hodl, I don't really care about their hodl position because it doesn't look like investors really care how much they hodl. Obviously, Core Scientific has a lot, 6.3. I mean, this could help them out. But I mean, you're looking at some of these hodl to market cap ratios. It's basically Core Scientific has 9.72% of their market cap is their hodl. Marathon is 13%, Riot is 10%, Hot 8 is 17%. You got Hive with 8%, and then you got Bitfarms with 20% of their market cap is basically their hodl position. What about where's the future hash rate growth and everything else like that? So I look at those types of things. I look at their future hash rate, what they can actually be earning on those. With these, this is going to fluctuate depending where the price is. Obviously, the price goes up. That's going to increase a little bit, but it's also going to increase. I think it's going to stay about the same, possibly, but we'll see. And then obviously Argo here is 34% of their market cap is based on their hodl position, which is ridiculous, based on what they're going to be actually mining in the future. So way undervalued in my opinion as well. So that is my 2 cents on all this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, a lot of numbers as always. It's kind of interesting to take a look at them all side by side, see where they are at, what they possibly could be, what I think they should be. But we don't live in a perfect world, so obviously they're not going to be all worth 20 price to earnings multiple and 75% net. They're all going to fluctuate and things like that. Certain stocks are going to be more favorable with investors than others, and just got to take it into account for that. So we have to kind of range it out a little bit, where it could possibly be. So, but this is just in an ideal world where things could, I think they should be. So, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell helps me out tremendously. As always, this spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members. Excuse me, my throat is dry. You can get it there if you like, and I always update it whenever I do these kind of videos. It goes up there. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.